However, for myself or the guests, if you have questions for us and we're not responding to you in the comments, please hit us with a favorite. And when we're not on the featured show, we'll be able to interact with you, say hi to you, and answer questions. You can ask during the show, but if for some reason, please don't think we're ignoring you on purpose. Just understand that it's a featured show and my attention is on my guests, okay? And my guests are here, like I said, to share a lesson that they've learned with you. In the middle, in between my guests, we'll do a little Q&Q if we have time. We'll have to see how long the first guest goes, because I'm not sure how this episode's going to go. I've not really done anything quite like this one before. And if you guys happen to find this show interesting and you'd like to be on this show, please hit me up on IG, or you can hit up Emoji J. But he's going to end up sending you to me because we're going to do a whole questionnaire thing. So if you'd like to be on the show, please hit me up. Booyah, you'll be on it soon, I promise. I don't think I'm giving you much of a choice. So we've got that going on for you, Booyah. Yeah, so Booyah, I'll be in your DMs. Okay, hey. All right, guys. So I'm going to let Emoji J totally, he said slide on in there. Featured show, Lily. Get your act together. Get your act together. Hi. Okay, how about I didn't pay attention? Was it you can never plan the future by the past, or I love living, I have some problems? What was the beginning of that, Jay? Help me out. Hello. All right, you guys, welcome to Lessons Learned. My name is Silly Lily, and today's episode is autism awareness. And this is super important to me for so many reasons, and I am so honored to have Kern and Tater on the show. Tater, I'm gonna actually, you know what, you guys, let's look. I'm gonna switch this up a little bit. Thank you, Jay. I think what I'm going to do is I'll have you both boxed up, introduce yourself, and then I think that I might have you both in at the same time. I feel like both of you ladies are respectful enough and I don't have to worry about muting you to talk over. So I think that I'm going to have you get in, introduce yourselves, and then that way it's kind of like a together. And I feel like we won't, I don't know. I feel like we are going to cover a lot. We have a lot to talk about. But I feel like having both of you guys in at the same time to answer questions and to kind of teeter-totter off of each other, I suppose, right?
They have a cat and a cat carrier, and they have to get somewhere. The car door is frozen shut. Do you have any tips or tricks to unfreeze the car?
Hot water.
We already tried.
Well, I don't know, but I'm in the middle of a featured show. Like I told you, from 10 to 11, you need not bother me. Remember those words? So that lady's problem is not yours. So finish doing what you're supposed to do. Sorry, you guys. She's concerned over somebody's car door being frozen shut. Like, that's not your problem. That's that grown adults, ladies. Gotta love the life stuff. Anyways. I want to remind you guys, we are not professionals, none of us. We're simply here to share a lesson with you that life has taught us, okay? And It's so important. Just use your ears today, guys. Definitely use your ears. And then, if we have some time at the end, we'll do the self-love, self-care quotes, but I'm not sure that we're gonna have time for those today. And I'm not even mad about that. I'm not even mad about that. So before we go ahead and do that, every week I end with a quote and then a question. And last year's was, I love living. I have some problems with my life, but living is the best thing they've come up with so far. What is the best thing about your life right now? What is the best thing about your life right now? Keep waking. Pickles getting you through life. Yep, definitely avoid that place. Chad says freedom. My taxes got approved. Oh, cool dude says me. Meeting friends in person says T. Tawny says having good relationships with their son and daughter. Yes. Lotus says finding myself. I love that. I love that. Boop says too much to list. Oh, dude, I owe everybody. I mean, I don't owe, but like, every month they keep sending me these bills. Like, why can't I just pay this once and call it a day, right? Like, seriously. So if you're just tuning in, guys, you're watching Lessons Learned. My name is Silly Lily, and the question right now is, what is the best thing about your life right now? Living the life I was meant to lead. I like that. This app and your streaming friends. New favorite plug says my son. Booyah says there's a lot. New psychologist, someone that finally understands. That is amazing, Sassy. I love that for you so much. Booyah says your daughter. Eric says watching SL. All right, Booyah says your job. So I think for me right now, I'm finally opening up. I'm allowing myself to have friends. I'm taking adventures. I'm putting myself out there and then on top of the rest of that, I'm learning to love myself. I am learning to love myself right now. But also I've been making some really awesome friends, along this crazy journey called life. But yeah, all right, we're gonna pull. This will be okay. Here we go. Well, that'll be. I don't know. We have a random one for at the end of the show now. I don't have to go searching for it. So you guys are just tuning in. Welcome to Lessons Learned. Kern, and Tater. I'm about to let you into the box. All right, we got Tater first.
Wait, me first?
First, hi.
Morning.
How are you?
I'll just tighten the ponytail.
Yeah, I tried to do my hair. I should have just left it in the ponytail.
Dude, I couldn't. Everything was like going hectic this morning. So you're lucky I have makeup on. I'm here.
You don't even need it. You don't even
did you get the golden?
need
No,
it.
you didn't get the
All
golden
right.
ticket.
And Kern, we're going to get her in the box.
Hey.
Hi, ladies. Thank you, both of you, so much for being on here. So before we get too into details, explain to us, because I know, like Kern, you waiter. I believe that it's one of your children, correct?
My son. My daughter's also being evaluated because I see it in her too.
Okay.
And I was a teacher for 7 years, so I just kind of learned as I went.
Right. So we have like somebody who actually is living through it, and then somebody that helps, their children. And I'm excited, I guess, to see the different points of view. So Kern, hi. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm watching a baby monitor at the moment because my daughter's RBT hasn't showed up till 11. So I have to wait. So I've studied and autism for 16 years. I work with ITDS, which is Infant Toddler Direct Services. It's like early steps. It's early intervention for children newly diagnosed or going to be diagnosed. And what that does is it helps. Early interventions, everything for the little ones, being able to diagnose, get an educational individual educational plan, have goals, milestones that we kind of try to reach for. Also, my son is on the spectrum. My daughter's on the spectrum. Both my children are high functioning. One's verbal, one's nonverbal. The little baby girl's nonverbal currently, but she understands, and we're learning ASL so we can speak. And using an ACC device, which is augmented communications, to give her a voice because she doesn't have, she struggles. I believe it's apraxia. And also, I am on the spectrum. I am what's called high functioning savant.
Okay.
So
Okay, what does
we
that
do all
mean?
of it.
What does high functioning savant mean exactly?
Okay, so the classification of that is just to help people understand where somebody is on the spectrum, to help them educate them better. So basically, it's Asperger's, but I'm able to do certain things. Some of my accolades, or some of the things I'm able to do, is like, for instance, I can draw. I play 12 instruments. I have a photographic memory. I can learn very quickly. Everything, all this information, I can code websites, and it's nobody taught me. It's just something I understand the language. And I can speak like 3 languages. So we've got a lot going on in there.
I can speak toddler, gibberish, English, drunk, but I can't speak anything else.
So Tater, your son's nonverbal?
No, actually, so my son, he is high functioning, and he also has ADHD. But for Jack, his comes out with an anxiety, and like, I'll use his school for an example. They were doing their statewide testing, and he's sitting there going, wee-oo, 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 when he couldn't figure out the question.
I love that.
Like, it sucks because it gets him in trouble, but it makes me laugh because I'm just like, dang. But
that's his way of saying he doesn't understand, right? Like,
yeah,
in a way.
Like, he cannot. So for Jack, he can't comprehend like others' feelings, and when he has these real big outbursts of not anxiety, but energy, I guess, that's where it really kicks in, and he'll start showing all of his tics. Like, he'll spin in circles. He was jumping on top of the desks at one point. Like, so he's got a good combo. And then with my daughter, hers is more an anxiety. So like, hers will kick in and she'll do this. And she'll just stare at you for like 30 minutes. I'm like, hey. But for her, it is very different because like in females, it doesn't show as much. Like Kern, like, we don't show it as much. And for her, you can kind of see it, but she's a social butterfly.
That's awesome. So I guess like those that are newer or maybe having questions, and I don't know if both of you might have different answers for this, is what are some of the things to really look for? Like if you have a child or if you have somebody in your life and what are some of the signs so that, because maybe somebody's struggling and all they need is a different IEP, something's just.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say stemming.
Yeah,
Like
no,
that.
there's a bunch. This is what I actually do for a living. I sit there and I analyze, okay, so is this child doing this? There's a lot of signs. For instance, not giving eye contact, not responding to names, not pointing, using hands for tools, tiptoeing, believe it or not, is a big one.
That one. My daughter.
I tiptoed my whole life.
Tiptoe, and just because somebody tiptoes or they have one of these things does not necessarily mean somebody is on the spectrum. They can have one of this and just be neurotic.
Right,
but it's a combination of these things, stemming behaviors such as flapping or clapping or repetitive behaviors. These are all things to kind of be, and missing milestones is a huge one. Like if they skipped from crawling and just went to walking, or they're not doing certain things like pointing. These are really, really big tells. Not being able to play peekaboo with you, not giving you that eye contact. I knew my daughter had autism at 9 months old. I knew it immediately. I was like, okay, we'll see where she's at. My son also has the ADHD, and they told me he was never going to talk, silly Lily. They told me this child's not going to speak. Guess what he does? He is in theater class. He
Oh, that's
acts, he
awesome.
sings, he does everything. He was just on my show on Thursday. As you know, I do Kern Speaks Autism, and I help people with just these very questions. What are some of the things to look for?
So what is I'm going to ask questions that I definitely asked when I first started working with the young man that I worked with. What exactly is stemming?
Stemming is self-stimulation behavior. Okay, so believe it or not, all of us stem. Every human being stems, whether it's biting your nails, bouncing when you're nervous, moving your legs real fast, pulling your hair back when you're stressed. It's stimulating behavior to either soothe or express.
Okay.
Whether you can communicate or not. Like when you get really happy, have you noticed a lot of people do when they're happy? Yeah. It's a stem. Yeah. It's a thing we cannot control.
It's a natural behavior.
Express. So we all have stemmings. It's just children on the spectrum and myself. You'll see it when I get really happy. We have a harder time to have the break in our brain to be like, hey, maybe I shouldn't do that. Or it happens more often because situations are more anxious or more overstimulating for us or overwhelming. So a lot of times you'll see it. You know what I mean? The stems, the flapping, whether it's this or having to fidget with something to feel like calm.
Okay.
So that is a stem.
Okay. I can't explain these as well as you can. So I figure if I know I've asked it in the past, I'll be asking them again if you don't cover it, I think it's really important that we all understand this a little bit better, because so many times, like I know for me, I when I wasn't aware, I wasn't aware of how much you guys actually can three languages, you work with the infants and toddlers, and I guess for me I kind of was in that stuck brain where I just didn't know prior to working with, you know what I mean? I just didn't know. I was naive. I never looked into it. I was, I guess I just heard, autism or ADHD, and it kind of was like, oh, and then to me, I didn't know that there was verbal, nonverbal.
Oh yeah, there's so many different levels of autism.
Yes, that's why they call it the spectrum, because when you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. We are all not the same.
Everybody's
at all. You can have high functioning nonverbal. You can have more severely diagnosed nonverbal. You can have severely diagnosed verbal. So they'll just sit there and make repetitive noise or echo or do echo noises.
And see, my son is verbal, but he's a vocal stimmer. So he'll sit there and do the noises to make himself calm down.
Okay. Yes. And that's the okay.
Yes, it's called usually echo or guttural noises. Like my daughter, she'll go to calm.
Yep.
Okay. It's adorable.
Now, like, wee you. That's what he does. He likes to scare me with police noises.
I love it.
I think that's great though. You know what though? Like, I'll be honest with you, these kids I struggle to sometimes regulate, and they find their own ways to regulate, which is I'm more credit to them, because sometimes I struggle to regulate. And you know what I mean? Like that's it's almost amazing that even so young, they're like, you know what, if I do this, I feel better.
Can I answer a comment?
Yeah.
Champagne, my son is not. If he's quiet, then something's super wrong. But my daughter is the one, she will go quiet sometimes, but she also is a reader. So her calm down is to go sit in a quiet place and read.
Okay.
And she just turned 9.
9.
Yeah.
Okay.
And hers, was definitely not something I noticed till recently.
Okay.
So
So,
with girls,
and
it definitely shows a lot
you
later.
guys mentioned that it's a lot less obvious, a lot less noticeable. I'm trying to use the right words in women than it is in guys. Is that was a
Usually, well, what that really means is like you'll see it less common in females.
okay?
100%. But there is lots, just as, I mean, when you're dealing with children on the spectrum, I mean, it
That are
could range.
masking.
It could range. Even if it's a female, I've seen it to the point where, unfortunately, they can only do this the whole time. No talking, no nothing. And it's very obvious.
Yeah.
My daughter, it's obvious. Unfortunately, it's obvious, meaning her stems are a lot. The more they end up talking, the more they get more mature, you'll see it less and less. You'll see me do it if I get anxious, like I've been doing it this whole time. I have toys I'm playing with under the desk.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
now
playing with a
you
squishy.
can't see it, but I'm over here going.
That's why I hold the book, because it's soft.
Yep,
Yes.
I got a
With my
squishy
hand.
pin.
I literally
Silly
just
Lily
gave it to
Love.
her because she was digging into her fingers like this. So I handed her that squishy pen so she had something to play with.
Yes, I'm telling you, I do it all day. I have toys over here, and I just sit here and go. Nobody knows what I'm doing,
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's just part of our survival mechanism, and they're more in tune to that because they don't really have another option.
Right. Right.
I
So
will say
what-
this: I didn't notice it in my son until last year, and I wish I would have, because I feel like I would have handled a lot of situations very differently with him. I was a preschool teacher for 7 years, so like, if I just would have known, I feel like it would have made things a lot easier, because he got in trouble a lot at preschool, and we just didn't know. Like, they would tell me, oh, him being in trouble doesn't faze him. I didn't know that's because he's autistic. He didn't care. Like,
try to stick one in timeout.
yeah.
My son was like that. They go, I don't care. I have my imagination.
Yeah, he'd just sit there and
I
be
don't
like,
care to live in your world anyway. Quite actually, I'll just stand here and talk to myself. I don't care. I don't
like,
need you.
I just
don't
didn't
need your
know.
entertainment.
I didn't know until a beautiful first grade teacher, and I sat down and had to talk about the things he actually does in class as an older child. And so I was like, okay, well, let's get him assessed. And it took about 4 months, and he got a lot higher score on the autism spectrum than I thought he would. He was a 12, and I thought it'd be like a 5. But he is very verbal, and he is very with it. It's just he did a lot too.
Yes, you get a lot of issues with discernment issues, reading the room. No filter, absolutely no filter. My son yesterday, I had him on the show, and I was like, I'm warning you guys, please do not say anything in the comments. He will read it, and no matter how many times I've sat there prior and told him, which you have to prep them for anything, really. You gotta give them time, whatever. I let him know. We talked about this 2 days before him being on the show. James, please don't read the comments. Please don't respond. And if you're gonna respond, don't. He's like, what? I'm just being honest. You don't want me to be a liar. And I was just like, oh.
Yeah, that's something mine would say too. You don't want me to lie.
You don't want me to lie, but I don't want you to be like, hey, you look weird in your photos. Are you fake? Are you a child? He says things that I'm like, no, don't do it, James.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He says the things most people think. That's what I look at. My friend's son would do that, and she'd get so mad. And I looked at her the one day, and I said, I said, can I be honest with you? I said, everything he says is something I've thought. Like, in my head, I just don't say it out loud. I'm like, so I don't think you should get mad at him for expressing himself, because it's not a lie. And it's not that he wouldn't insult you, but he'd be like, your pants are dirty. Your shoes,
yes,
like things like that. They never said anything about an appearance. It was never it was never about the hair. Sometimes there's a messy hair, or why do you put your hat on sideways? Like things like that, And I'm to be honest, I'm thinking the same thing, but it's enough to ask,
Yes.
So
the difference between mine is when I tell my daughter to, hey, stop, that's not nice, she'll stop. My son, why? It looks funny. Like,
Yeah.
keep going.
And also, a really cool fun fact is they also take things very literally. Do not use sarcasm. They don't get it. So when my son was, this is just kind of a funny story to what we were just talking about. When he was about 6, I was in a grocery store. An older person, elderly, said hi to him. He says, well, hello there, young man. And he's just like looking at them. I was like, say hi, honey. And he's like, no, I don't talk to old people. You told me old things need to be thrown. You told me old things need to be thrown out. And I'm like, no, James,
I would have been mortified.
Don't. I meant food, honey. I didn't mean people. He's like, but he's gonna kick the bucket anyway, so I'm not gonna invest my emotions. And I'm like, oh, I love you, but oh my God. And he did this in front of the person, and they're horrified. I'm like, have a wonderful day, sir.
Sorry.
I would have froze. I don't know what I would have done. I would have locked up like I didn't have my hand over
I
the
probably
mouth.
wouldn't have said
Oh, I
anything.
died.
Like,
that was one of the moments where I'm like, oh no.
That way.
yeah, I'm just gonna walk away like this didn't happen.
Yes, I was like trying to exit stage left immediately. It was awesome though. Later on, I laughed.
Kids do say the funniest things though. I think that's one of my favorite comedy skits on the TV is the darndest things kids say or whatever.
Yes.
But
I'll never forget. I went camping and I burnt my lip, and I came home because I had a few things to drink, and I came home and I tried to eat a s'more off the stick like a dumb and I burnt my lip. And I gave up, and my daughter goes, you should put some makeup on that. And she was like 4 years old. Fudge.
So yeah, Bubble Pop. Make sure you favorite Kern and
She has me
Tater.
favorited.
Okay.
She has me favorited.
And Bubble Pop. Hey, if you wanted to get in the box, Bubble Pop, and introduce yourself, and just to say hi to folks, because you are, I did ask for you to be on the show. I know you had to work. You're kind of busy. But if you wanted to pop in and say hi, just let me know. But that's
I tried to have her in my show as well, but she said she had some work things because
she's working. But I don't know if she just wanted to hop in and say hi to everybody and show everybody another happy, friendly face, right? So now my question, now schools for
oh boy.
That's a fun one.
Is this do schools tend to help more or not, or is there special schools you can like how do people look into that for their children if this is something that they need to do?
Well, this is again something that I specialize. Okay, so it depends on what the age bracket is. If they're over 3, first they do the early steps program, usually is how it goes. And then they go into something called fiddlers. Now you can choose to do it or not, but they have, and depending on where they are in the spectrum, they do have ASD units, which is autism spectrum, units just for autism. But if your child is verbal, I'm going to tell you right now, I would try to not do that. I would try, the best thing would be what I tried to do, which is to put them in an inclusion class with an IEP implemented. That is very important, because if you put them in an ASD unit with children that are unfortunately nonverbal, they can regress. You don't want the regression. So what you want to do then at that point is take them and go ahead and see if you get inclusion class, which are smaller classes sizes, and just implement your IEP in that class.
An IEP is an individual education plan.
And it's catered to that child's needs, whether it's more time on tests, breaks, decompression if they need to take it. They're allowed to do things that kind of bend the rules of what the atypical child would have to deal with. Okay. So if you're dealing with that, then that would be the best route. Go ahead, Tater.
All right,
so
Tater.
Going with what she said, I had to ask the school specifically to get him evaluated, which they did. They went through their local behavioral department, and we got him assessed. And then this year now he has an IEP and he is getting straight A's in everything. And because he's verbal, they did ask me if I wanted to put him in special ed. I said no. But what we did is, so he has special ed for 20 minutes a day instead, where it's like an extra break and he can go work on his whatever he's struggling with. If he needs to just take a chill pill, because when he gets angry, he can't calm down.
Okay.
And so that it's, an extra little break for that. And ever since we started that, his teacher said that he's a whole new Jack, is what she told him. And he came home one day, he said, Miss Helmendaler said I'm the new and improved Jack. And he's really proud of himself. And so I actually now I'm requesting it for my daughter too to look into. And yeah, Pickle's seen it. He's here day in, day out. That's their stepdad. He loves them as his own. And Pickle and I have both had to learn together as parents how to handle this, because he's been with me since we started the assessment and everything. So Pickle's seen it, before and after treatment.
Okay. All right. So Bubble Pop, welcome. Go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you. And
look, I am recording this. I will show my mother, so my
okay.
mom can feel more safe. But yes, it is really true that it's uncommon for women to have autism. There's a camp here in Louisiana for people with autism, and it's mainly all men.
It's all miss. Okay. So you guys have a camp, you said? Is that like what is that like?
Like down, it's at a campground. We have they'll have fishing, they'll have bow and arrows. I mean, not bow and arrows.
Is it a week long?
If you need a break,
Yeah, we do it here too.
Yeah, my toddler's just freaking out right now.
Just
I'm just gonna one
Go
second.
ahead.
I'm so
Go ahead.
sorry.
Go, please. If you guys have, look, I'm not going to be mad. Please, if you've got things, I get it. I get it. Okay, sorry, Bubble Pop. I wanted her to go take care of her daughter.
Yeah, it is. It's a week long. They have they'll have what are they called? Like volunteers for people, and they have like fishing. They have rock climbing. They do swimming. They do BB guns. They do arts and crafts and all that. But now that I do meet me, it's not me anymore, and I don't feel comfortable anymore now that I'm more grown up. Because I started when I was 16, but I don't go anymore because I don't feel comfortable. Like they're all, there
All the guys.
is all kind of people on the spectrum. There are high, there is low, but I'm very high functioning. If you could see, I have my own place and my own job, and I get everywhere. Yeah.
Bubble
But
Pop,
I
I love
am-
this. I love this. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all of you guys. You guys have pushed through some crazy things. The obstacles are just absolutely amazing. And bless your souls, all of you,
Silly Lily. Also, there's something to be said about, as far as the school system goes, since we're on that, it's very important. I actually, unfortunately, this will be my last year. My son is in the school. I have to pull him because he is so high functioning that he doesn't qualify for the inclusion classes, even though he has an IEP. The normal student teachers are not abiding by his IEP. They try to treat him like as if he doesn't have an IEP. They're constantly breaching it. And the biggest problem that as parents face, and Tater probably faces it as well, when you have a really, really high functioning child, they can be in normal classes, mainstreams, with an IEP implied. However, other students, the bullying is horrific.
Oh, don't even get me started.
My son gets called Nicholas Cruz. He gets shoved down the stairs. He gets everything because he does sometimes STEM, and he talks to himself, and he gets into his own, especially if he's stressed. They make fun of him, and the teachers, they can only do so much. They can't control everybody. And he sticks out like a sore thumb because he's the kid in the corner in the cafeteria, pacing back and forth and with the headphones on, talking to himself. and they see it
So-
and they target it. So it's not necessarily the best situation but please, parents, and Tater probably also is dealing with this too. Read the room. If you see your child, don't keep trying to push it and say, hey, they need social. They need social. If that is the social your child is getting, that is not what the child needs.
Right.
See,
So-
now I'll put this out there. My school district, I freaking love it. So we actually won number 7 in the country for elementary schools. And I will say there's issues, but they've taken a lot of care of Jack. And ever since he started his medicine, I see him having so many more friends, and not in the like, oh, he's normal now way, in the he now understands their social cues. And so Jack started Concerta, which is what I was on as a kid. And it calms him down enough to where he can actually process things. But I will say his first day of kindergarten, he went to the after school program, and a 5th grader pushed him to the ground, kicked him in the stomach, kicked him in the face, and called him ugly. And it took Pickle sitting with him for 3 hours in quiet to get him to open up about what happened. Because he was just sitting here in the corner like this, and that's not my son. Like, it was
So
bad.
what I'm hearing is parents of children, teach your children to respect other children. And I'm telling y'all right now, if you think your kid's that little perfect prince or princess at school,
Not.
they're the jerks.
Yeah.
Teach your children to
They're
respect
bullies.
each other. Don't let your children be the bullies, because I'm telling you right now, I caught my son bullying some kid once, and that was the last time he ever bullied. And my daughter is the one that gets in trouble for standing up to the bullies now, because I won't have it, and they know it. They know it. But my daughter's the one that's standing side by side with those kids going, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And
Yeah.
because my daughter's a beast, they're all like, probably nothing now.
Not
you know,
shit.
so it's she will not. She won't tolerate it. She won't have it. And I've been very, 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 very strong minded on that part, because I was bullied. Not because of being on a spectrum or anything like that, but I was bullied a lot, and it was bad, and it was awful. And I refuse to think for 1 second that I've allowed my children to make another child feel like that. So y'all make sure you're teaching your children to respect each other, and that being different is okay, and that we need to embrace it, because otherwise life would be boring. So boring.
Yep.
Yes, very boring. Nobody wants that at all.
So make sure y'all are teaching your children. Educate your children that difference is, it's okay to be different. It's
Hate
okay
is
for us.
taught, kindness is taught. You know, my daughter was in preschool. She was the one, there was a little
so
boy
sorry.
that had Down syndrome, right? And nobody'd play with him because he was different. But there was one day I looked out, and I'm still really proud of this moment. But she took initiative to push him around the playground in the little car, because that's all the thing he liked. And there was nobody playing with him. So she took initiative to do it. At like 4 or 5 years old, man. You can't tell me that hate's not taught.
I'm
That's my
so
daughter
sorry. I
too.
have huskies. I'm trying to make them. That's the noise, and I'm like, oh no, not now, not now.
It's a
The
live
Twilight-
show. You gotta love it.
Do you guys remember Hunter on Dalmatians? They're doing the Twilight bark in mid-show, and I'm so sorry. I had like 4 huskies, and they decided now's a good time to do the Twilight bark, everybody.
Down syndrome. Okay. So yeah. So again, if you guys are just tuning in, welcome to Lessons Learned. We've got Tater, Kern, and Bubble Pop Princess, and I also are all Tater. Did I catch on that you on the spectrum, or just the kid?
So I have ADHD.
Okay.
I've been diagnosed with ADHD. I have never been assessed for autism. So I don't want to say yes, I am. No, I'm not. Do I see it? Yes. But also, like, I have really bad chronic anxiety and PTSD. So that I've noticed, since I went through a lot of stuff, that's where I've really started to deal with more mental health problems. So I really can't say yes or no for that.
But so for those of you that are just tuning in, we have 3 beautiful women that either are on the autism spectrum or they have the children. And this whole show today is just making us aware, teaching us a little bit about their lives and how they go about it. And my next question to you guys is, if there's anything that you've learned on this journey that you would want someone to know, what is it? We'll start with whoever. Raise your hand, go first, whatever.
Let Kern go first.
Okay, I got all the answers, baby. I'm just like boom, boom, like Oprah Winfrey. You get an answer. You get an answer. You get an answer.
You all get an answer.
You all get answers. What I've learned on this journey as a parent, as someone who's been diagnosed, as somebody who works with special needs kids, never let your diagnosis define you.
Yes.
Never. It is just a diagnosis, guys. It does not officially stamp you as, hey, you can't. I hate that it says, and I'm using the word hate here, and it's a strong word for me to use because I don't like to use that word. I hate that they have it as a disability. Yes, it has its drawbacks. It has things that are harder for the average person for a person on the spectrum to overcome, but it is not a disability. We can accomplish so many things. I mean, they told my mother that I was, back then they used a very bad word to express somebody who was what they felt was mentally disabled. And I play 12 instruments. So again, they told me my son wasn't going to speak. So don't let even if you have a child, a friend, or anything, don't underestimate that person. Please don't. And don't let their diagnosis define them. Patience is a virtue. Understanding is everything. Early intervention. And that is what I will leave you with, guys. As far as that goes, that is everything. Just don't get scared. If you see that someone you know is on the spectrum, don't embrace it. Go, you know what? That's fine. They're just it's a neuropathy, different neuropathy in the brain. It doesn't mean that they're not capable. It doesn't. It's just it's like the difference between an Android and an Apple. Different operating systems. That's it, guys. Don't let it define you.
You just made me think of so much, Kern. So their dad, so Sophie and Jack have a different dad. Pickle and I have Raymond and Delilah, and then Sophie and Jack have the same dad, but not Pickle. Their dad, I'm pretty sure, has Asperger's. Like, it's clear as day. It is clear as freaking day. Now, his mother is the type that nothing's wrong with my baby, and if something's wrong with them, then something, I can't do it. I just can't. So when she found out Jack had autism, these were her words, and it still pisses me off to this day. She goes, "Oh man, that's such a bummer." Yeah, she told me to my face. I almost hit this woman.
I'm telling you. I
almost hit this woman, Kern.
You don't ever, as a parent, and this is that same thing. I was out in public. I had my daughter with me, and somebody was like, "Oh my God," because my daughter's gorgeous, and they were like, "She's so pretty. Hi, little girl. Hi, beautiful." And she wouldn't look. She was in her own little thing.
Yeah, she didn't want to look at her.
They're like, "Is she okay?" I was like, "Yeah, she's fine. She just has autism. No big deal."
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
For what?
I got mad at first, and then I realized, you know what? They just don't know.
They just don't understand.
And I said, don't be sorry. She's probably the happiest kid I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Number two, there's nothing to be sorry about, love. I was so angry. Everything inside of me.
Right.
Like, what did I just tell you? Did I tell you she had AIDS and she was dying? What do you think I just told you?
Yeah.
And then at that moment, I was like, I can't be mad at this lady. She just didn't know. She just didn't know. So that is so important what she says. And you do, even family members who say, "Oh, we get it."
That's their grandmother.
Yes, my brother did it. He's like the same thing. And I was like, why are you sorry? And don't feel sorry for me. I feel sorry for you. You'll never be that happy.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to be that happy with life.
The rest of my friends and my family, my side, they're all like, "Oh, okay, well that makes things make a lot of sense now.
Yes.
But then you got their grandmother on their dad's side who goes, that's such a bummer. And she cried about it for like 4 days. Like, lady, get off your freaking high horse.
And Tater, when your son becomes the next Elon Musk or Albert Einstein
Dude,
or all the
he's
others,
good at math. He's
Bill
so-
Gates, Jerry Seinfeld, let's just
Man.
keep going down the list.
Yep.
Michelangelo, Andy Warhol. I mean, we just go on and on and on and on about all the famous people
Yeah.
who have autism. So, not a bummer at all.
I love Seinfeld too.
I feel like I feel like that a lot of people do not fully understand that it's just you just have a different way you have to learn, and sometimes a different way to communicate. It's just I liked the phone comparison. We're all here to sort of serve the same function. We just have to do it differently. You know what I mean? And I really that kind of like that because sometimes you struggle to come up with the right words, and those that just made me really process that. So I did like that. And Bubble Pop, if there is something that you want the world to know, what is it?
I don't know. I'm not good at answering questions.
I'm not good at the answers. Okay, so how about that anybody can accomplish the goals they want? Because look, you've got your job, you've got your own place, you're on your own.
Yeah, don't let the diagnosis, whatever she said.
Don't let it define you.
I would never in a day would I thought, I would have my own place, have my own job. I used to live in a group home, like I said in the comments. I lived in a group home with 8 people with all kind of disabilities. 2 of them had Down syndrome, and they were the most precious little people you would have ever met. But I lived in a group home with 6 people down in DeRidder that were very, very low functioning. I lived at St. Mary's with all kind of people. It was like a dorm. It was in Alexandria. I lived there for about 2 years.
Okay.
So, I've come really far.
That's awesome. I'm proud of you. That's awesome. Like it's really good to hear the success stories, and it's good to get views from those that actually have done, they deal with it. Like I said, I just nannied a young man who was autistic along with other things, and he was nonverbal. And that's the closest that I've come to dealing with it. But that young man taught me so much about patience and accepting that I have to learn different ways to communicate with him. And we did. There wasn't a lot, but I knew when he was hungry. I knew when he needed changed, and I knew if he wanted a bath. I knew if he wanted the music on or the TV on. Like I learned his signs. I learned to watch his expressions and his eyes, because if he was pacing back and forth, he wasn't happy. And if he wanted to watch the TV, he would stay focused on the TV, and it would be an up and down versus a side to side. Like it took me a long time to figure that stuff out, and the mom of course helped me, and stuff like that. But it's just crazy how amazing he was, even though we never spoke a word. He never spoke a word to me, but taught me so much.
That's what's so cool, Lily. My daughter is technically classified currently nonverbal. Oh, but if you show her something and you say, Luna, where is the woodpecker? She can identify crocodile versus alligator. She already knows multiplication tables, and she's 3. So it's not a developmental issue in the brain. Sometimes it comes with apraxia.
Dude, my son is so good at math. Like,
Right?
it's crazy. I'm sitting here like, I don't understand. And he's like,
You feel stupid. You're like, wait a minute. I don't get math.
He's gonna love it.
And we're all not, and by the way, guys, just because you get somebody who is high functioning, we are not Rain Man, for Christ's sakes. Stop saying that. We aren't Rain Man. We can't read your mind.
I did like that movie though.
Yeah, maybe we can. I'm just telling you something.
You work with people with disabilities too? What do you do,
Yeah,
Bubble
just
Pop?
like me. Just like me, I work on a military base.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all have jobs up there, they like have jobs for people with disabilities.
Okay. So
Where y'all from?
Kern works with infants and toddlers who are what's your term?
It's ITDS, it's Infant Toddler Direct Services. I actually will sit there and talk to people and help them. Hey, this is how you can help with the sensory, or this is how you can help them with this. All right, let's diagnose. Let's see what we're going to evaluate the child and then suggest the diagnosis and what early steps program, or in its government. So let's send this person for an hour to their house and work on. Here's what some of the things they need to work on: their motor skills, because some of them do have issues with motor functions. Some of them have motor function and sensory, which means they can't touch certain things. They have abrasions to certain things, foods, textures, lights, sounds, hypersensitive and hyposensitive. So these are just some of the things that I look at the case files. I'll get them so I can work from home, and I'll read over, okay, here's what I think needs to happen. And what better than somebody who actually deals with that.
Okay.
Move the
Awesome.
table.
All right. So we are unfortunately running out of time. I could go on for hours. We're gonna have to do a whole other show. We'll have to do another show, but the actual month. I think the last week of April. April's Autism Awareness Month, right?
Yes, it is. Light It
Okay.
Up Blue. And the reason why they have Light It Up Blue, guys, and a lot of people don't know this, so I'm about to blow your mind. Light Up Blue is the neuropathies in the brain. And when you have Asperger's, autism, any of that, and you do a brain map, it lights up blue.
Okay. I didn't
So
know
that's why it's April Light It Up Blue for autism. That's why you're supposed to have like a porch light that lights up blue.
I'm claiming y'all the last Friday of April. So just put it on your calendars now because I'm claiming y'all the last week of April. We'll try to come up with something special. We'll have some good time to plan that. But so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have you guys kind of do one more little introduction. Tell us when you stream. If you have any other, your IG or whatever, if you've got that, if you've got any events coming up that you're in or hosting, and then after you do that, you can hop out of the box. So Bubble Pop Princess, I know you've got an event coming up.
Let me post in the comment on my regular account, because this is not really the account that I stream on.
All right. So yeah, go in, and then you guys, there's Bubble Princess down there. So she's actually it's your first auction, right? This is your first one?
Well, it's my third auction.
Oh, it's the third?
I just
Okay.
got another account. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So yeah, March. What is it? March. I don't remember what day it was, but she's in one in March. I think it's March 17th. There you go. March 17th. So she'll be in that. And then do you have any times you stream specifically, or do you just stream randomly, Bubble Pop?
Yeah, randomly. I try to at least get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and stream till about till it's time for the bus to come. And I will try to get on in the afternoons. And if you can't find me, I'm in KK stream. That's my best friend.
He's awesome. KK is really a good guy. He's a sweetheart. He's a
He
sweetheart.
was in here earlier, I think. I saw people say KK.
Okay. All right. Well, Bubble Pop Princess, you can go ahead and hit the X. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you guys hit her with the favorite, and the Bubble Princess down there too. Get that one with the favorite. And then Kern, when do you stream? What do you got going on?
Okay, well, I stream almost every single day. On Thursdays, I was doing a bunch of shows, but it got super overwhelming. I'm also currently dealing with some health issues, but Thursday, I do Kern Speaks Autism. It's right now the slot between 3 and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I'll have special guests, educators, people who actually live with this firsthand, and also have children, cousins, brothers, nephews. So that's every Thursday, 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fridays, they do Kern karaoke, usually if I can physically manage that. And then what I have coming up, I am in the Unstoppable Idol, guys.
Oh,
That's every Sunday. Yeah, I've made it. I'm in. We're on the second episode of it, and it's super important.
That's cool.
So we're doing the Unstoppable Idol every Sunday for the next 3 weeks. The winner gets to go and sing it playlist. So it's really important if you guys show up and spam my emojis. And also, I got a second auction coming up on the same Sunday, which is 2/19 at 5:10 p.m.
All right.
Eastern Standard. So we've got
Guys,
so much going on all the
and
time.
what time on Thursdays do you do your show?
3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 4. It's an hour's thing, and I'm hopefully going to get it featured. We're working towards that so we can
Let's
educate,
go.
advocate, and spread awareness.
I love that. You definitely needs to be done. All right, Kern, I will let you go. Thank you so much. You were full of info, and I absolutely
It
adore
was
you.
nice to meet you.
Thank
It
you.
was nice to meet you. I favored you, Tater. Thank you
I got
so
you
much,
too.
Lily. It has been so much fun. I
Yes.
appreciate everyone in the box and everybody in the comments. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Bye, Kern. And Tater.
Oh, you saved the best for
Woo!
last?
And
No, I'm just
Pickle,
kidding.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't let you in the box. I know he was trying to get in. Tell Pickle I'm sorry, and I still love his face, and don't be mad at me.
He's outside, but I mean, there we go.
I just seen him still in my box. You were in my guest box. I seen you.
The potato, how moody. So I'm Tater Teats, formerly known as Tater TITS. I don't want to say it, but you know,
Tater.
we'll just go Tater.
Tater.
I don't really do scheduled streams anymore, but I did a ladies' night. People have heard about it. But if you can't find me, I'm in Pickle's stream. Thanks to his favorite Pickle. He does
Right.
Turn Up Tuesdays. We do it together. So
Bubble Princess, you did amazing. Not to interrupt you, but I just wanted her to
That's
know.
why I was
Bubble, you
joking.
did great,
You
sweetheart.
did
You did
great.
absolutely great. No, look, I wouldn't have had you in the box if I didn't think you were all gonna be amazing.
She did
Okay.
wonderful.
She did one exactly. She did absolutely amazing. All three of you guys were amazing. So pretty much, Tater. What was your ladies' night? Tell us again.
Oh, so it was on Mondays, and I do it every Monday at 8 p.m. It was during COVID, so nobody had anywhere to go. We'd all get really trashed. People would dance. We'd have dance parties. I'd do theme nights. Like we did a Fortnite. We did a costume party where I dressed up as the Stay Puft Marshmallow, and I dropped it too low and I ripped the crotch.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all know Tater can get a little crazy.
Tater's a little wild,
stream.
but it's fine.
Oh my Lanta. All right. Well, I better get this read because I've only got 1 minute left. So
yeah, you
Tater, thank you for being here again. And I'm not kidding, y'all. The last week of April, y'all are mine. So don't go
I'm down.
Don't go planning nothing, okay?
Don't go planning nothing.
All right, Tater. Thank you for being here again.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, no, thank you for being here. All three of you. Bubble, I'm really glad you got to pop in here. I'm really glad, Bubble Princess, that you got to pop in here. So now you guys welcome to Lessons Learned. If you missed this show, I'm sorry. It will be on YouTube. It's through Emoji J. I'm just so happy. I needed positivity, and I needed today. So ladies, thank you so much because oh my god. I am in I don't know. I don't even know what to say to all of you. I'm just overwhelmed with love and positive vibes and the need to go out and even just to push myself to do better. Everything about today was, you know what? You've got this. All of us got this. We all just need different ways to do it. And it's even made me realize sometimes maybe I have to, try to learn things different ways. It is what I learned today. I didn't hear or learn, of course we discussed the word disability and how we do not like that, how it's more of a ulterior way to learn. And to be honest, I think that's sort of all of us. And I think all of us can take a really big lesson in this, in that sometimes it takes more than one way. You know, you got to try different ways. And like I said, I'm taking that with me, and I'm going to take that to my business, and I'm going to give it my all next week. You know what I'm saying? And go learn today, right? So y'all stop being so hard on yourself. And, you know, some of us just have to look at things differently and take a different approach. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. So y'all look in the mirror, high five yourself, and tell today you're going to kick its derriere, because, you know, YOLO, right? You only live once. So go ahead, get your life in order. Try something new. Put your all into it. And if any of you guys right now, while I'm doing the Q&Q, have a featured show or know of a featured show and you would like to do it in the comments, spam it like Moody Andrew has got going on down there. I don't mind if after the guests are done and in the last few minutes, y'all can spam your favorite shows. If it doesn't even have to be featured, okay? Just go ahead right now while I'm doing this, spam whatever your shows are, whatever your favorite show is. I mean, not mine. I know mine is your favorite. So you're going to have to tell me all y'all's other favorites, right? Okay? Shh, don't hurt my feelings, okay? No. Just pretend like I'm your favorite and list your second favorites, okay? So today says, follow your inner moonlight. Don't hide. Listen to this. I randomly picked this today, by the way. I just stuck my hand in there. Y'all watched me at the beginning pick this, and it says, follow your inner moonlight. Don't hide the madness. Wow. What's something you've always wanted to do in the middle of the night? What is it that you're sitting there thinking of that you want to do, laying there going, man, I wish I'd do that. I wish that I would have just, oh, God. Follow your inner moonlight. Don't hide the madness. What? What? Now y'all are going to answer this next week. Do not answer this. I answered you in the IGs and said I would, silly. We just got to talk on what week, what time, whatever, because I don't remember the time of yours. But anyways, we'll discuss that later. But y'all, my next event is March 3rd. I am in Warriors LGBTQ auction. And I don't remember my time because I stink at all of that. But I'll let you know. It'll be on my IG. But that's my next event. And then I'm actually hosting an auction. And I think I need 2 people. I still need 2 people. I filled it and then 2 people had to back out. So I still have 2 openings for my auction. It is a sleep awareness auction. Go ahead, grab your pajamas and your comfiest outfits that you can find. And we're going to put you in. Send me a message on IG with a picture and I'll get you on the list. And if it's more than 2 of you, we'll just add to it. I don't mind. I just tried to fill the 2 hours. If it goes for longer, I love all of you for doing that with me. Okay. So you can wear onesies, whatever you want, but just please shoot me a message on IG with the picture you want used, and I will get you on the time list and we'll go from there. I personally, I struggle with my sleep and with the schedule. So I've been doing some research and ways for us to relax ourselves so that we're all getting the proper amount of sleep, so that you can feel better. Because sometimes it's not the amount of sleep versus the quality of sleep. But we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about that day, before and after during, obviously, the auction. So that being said, you guys, I want to thank Tater, Kern, and Bubble Princess for being here today. All 3 of you taught me something, and I am forever grateful for that. So for those of you that missed today, make sure you check this show out on YouTube because they do get put up there. Yeah, that's it for today, guys. Remember, I love ya, I believe in ya, and never, ever, ever give up on your dreams. And I'm going to add to it. Sometimes we just have to look at things differently to understand. And let's make today the day that we start accepting and loving differences, because that's what makes the world go round And it's what keeps. And I think Kern was right when she says that her daughter is probably the happiest person on earth. Like, y'all, we need to learn from that. We need to learn how to take a little bit of that inner happiness and that amazingness and not be afraid to just be ourselves. And you know what? If we want to go ahead and express ourselves by dancing in circles and singing, Ryu, 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 let's effing do it. Because be yourself, y'all. Just be yourself today. Go out, have fun, and make somebody smile, okay? I'll see you guys next week. Well, I'll be on, this weekend a little bit, but make sure y'all tune in every Friday, 10 a.m. This is Lessons Learned. I'm Silly Lily. And thank you very much for being here. I appreciate all the gifts, all the faves, but more importantly, thank you for your time. And if you could please hit Booyah, Boy S, for top badge, and Bella up there, please, with favorites. Those are my top 3 gifters of the week. And then we've also got Cool Dude, The Only Miss Tawny, Find Me Nemo, Mars, Pickle, Boss Bro, and Dude pulling in the top 10. So you guys, thank you again for your time, because we can't get that back. So I appreciate all of you for spending it with me today. Mwah, 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 mwah. I gotta go. I gotta get off here. It's after 11. Bye.